Okay, so moving on, starting back at Lamentations 2 and 7. I'm going to start at the top of the verse. The Lord hath cast off his altar, he hath abhorred his sanctuary, he hath given up into the hand of the enemy the walls of her palaces. They have made a noise in the house of Yahweh, as in the day of a solemn feast. Alright, so like I said earlier, Maccabees chapter 1, you can read all about the defilation and the pollution and the stink that has raised up in the temple of Jerusalem ever since the so-called white man has conquered and destroyed and took over in Jerusalem in 70 AD. We're going to read verse 8. It says, Yahweh hath poured to destroy the wall of the daughter of Zion. Yahweh hath purposed to destroy the wall of the daughter of Zion. He hath stretched out a line, he hath not withdrawn his hand from destroying. Therefore he made the rampart and the wall to lament. They languished together. Her gates are sunk into the ground. He hath destroyed and broken her bars. Her king and her princes are among the Gentiles. The law is no more. Her prophets also find no vision from Yahweh. So literally, this verse is telling you because, if you look in the book of Maccabees chapter 1, it talks about how, our people, Israelites, they basically agreed to unify themselves with the heathen. And, the princes, it says here, her king and her princes are among the Gentiles. So literally, we became Gentile. The word Gentile means stranger. So we become Gentiles when we forgot the law, all right? And even it says the prophets find no vision from Yahweh. And it's because, we dwelt with the heathen. We made a pact with the heathen back then, and now we're in the time of coming back into remembrance of who we are. And that's the biggest thing right now. We need to learn who we are and repent and have a contrite spirit, right? Contrite, again, remember that means that you feel bad for what we've done. We feel bad that we defiled the temple once Jerusalem was destroyed and the so-called white man, the Edomites, took over. We kind of lost our way, Not kind of, we did lose our way. And now, in these last days, we're finding our way, all right? Through remembrance of the Holy Scriptures. All prophecy. So we're going to go to Hosea 3 and 4. And it says, For the children of Israel shall abide many days without a king, and without a prince, and without a sacrifice, and without an image, and without an ephod, and without teraphim. Afterward shall the children of Israel return and seek Yahweh their power, and David their king, and shall fear Yahweh and his goodness in the latter days. So there it is. It's a cycle. It's all prophecy, right? We had to fall because of our sin, because of our, we literally got destroyed by the Edomites, and they polluted the sanctuary and the temple and the tabernacle and the church. They're still doing that. But guess what? We come back, right? We come back into remembrance. It says in number 5, Afterwards shall the children of Israel return and seek Yahweh their power. So that's what we're doing now. Right? We're returning, meaning repenting. And we're learning these scriptures the way we're supposed to be, not the way the white man, the Edomite, has taught us. No longer are we, deceived by the devil, who's the so-called white man, the Edomite. Now we understand these scriptures. The Bible makes sense to us. Starting out with the Hebrew Israelites, starting with the elder apostles of GMS, bringing us into remembrance. All right, I'm going to go back to Lamentations, chapter 2, and we're going to go to verse 10. And it says, "The elders of the daughters of Zion sit upon the ground and keep silence. They have cast up dust upon their heads. They have girded themselves with sackcloth. The virgins of Jerusalem hang down their heads to the ground." All right. And I'm actually going to stop right there, but that's dealing with, this part. This is actually prophecy that has not yet to be fulfilled. But this is dealing with, because of the way Israel has went down and basically gotten destroyed and is in confusion right now, and also in Babylon. This verse 10 is talking about these women. This is prophecy. They're going to be very shameful in this day of Yahweh when He comes back. When judgment starts, showing itself on the face of Israel. When we go into martial law, and you're going to have all kinds of atrocities happening to the nation of Israel and also to the heathen nations in America, because this place is going to get crazy, right? It's going to be chaotic. And, it's talking about, let me read it one more time, verse 10. "The elders of the daughter of Zion sit upon the ground and keep silence. They have cast up dust upon their heads. They have girded themselves with sackcloth." And whenever people wore sackcloth in the scriptures, is because they were in a time of mourning, a very low state of mind, very humbled state of mind. And just like these women, right now you see them on social media and they have all of the liberty in the world. They're able to post their nakedness. They're able to post. They have so much power in Babylon, America, right? Women rule these households in America. What's the saying? It says, "Happy wife, happy life." It's all about to change. These women are going to be humbled. And let me read middle of the verse on verse 10. "They have girded themselves with sackcloth. The virgins of Jerusalem hang down their heads to the ground." All right, and this is just prophecy that's about to be fulfilled when America gets humbled. When these missiles start coming, when martial law comes to America, it's going to get crazy. And here's another verse dealing with this, a precept for Lamentations 2:10. This is going to be Isaiah, the 3rd chapter, and we'll start at verse 24 on the bottom, middle. "And it shall come to pass that instead of sweet smell there shall be stink, and instead of a girdle a rent, and instead of well set hair baldness, and instead of a stomacher a girding of sackcloth, and burning instead of beauty. Thy men shall fall by the sword, and thy mighty in the war." All right, so the mighty men, what is that dealing with? That's dealing with the military men. They're going to fall in the war of Armageddon because guess what? America's going to send a bunch of troops to the Middle East for that battle of Armageddon. And then the men that shall fall by the sword in verse 25 is dealing with that those nuclear missiles. They're going to fall by the sword here in America, Babylon. And then the mighty men, who are literally going to be the troops, they're going to fall in the war of Armageddon in the Mideast. And then the women, in verse 26, "And her gates shall lament and mourn, and she, being desolate, shall sit upon the ground." So that's going to be these women, man. They're going to be widows. They're going to lose their children. They're going to be sitting like them sad little bitches, you know, on the ground, feeling helpless. And that's when Yahweh is going to put the Spirit upon all flesh. And people are going to be scared because of everything that's around them. And that's when people will be humbled. That's when people will turn to God. But guess what? The word says that he's going to laugh at their calamity. Just like we get laughed off at when we're on the street corners teaching his word now. Well, you're going to choose to repent when it's too late. And guess what? He's going to laugh at your calamity. All right. And let me just, since I brought it up, let me look that up real quick. Because I don't know it off the top of my head, but I'm actually going to look it up. Let's see, laugh at their calamity. But anyway, it's going to be very humbling time for a lot of these people, especially these people that are not repenting now. You know, they don't believe the scriptures. You know, they could care less. They don't take the time to look at the Bible. They don't take the time to get on the street and push the truth. You know, but they're going to try and repent when it's too late. That's why it's important to be diligent now, and instead of just going about your happy little facade life, you know, repent. And we're telling you now, so you know, you can't say that nobody warns you when all this shit starts hitting the fan. Okay, let's just see. We'll start at... Well, we'll go to 23. Proverbs 1 and 23. Turn you at my reproof. Behold, I will pour out my spirit unto you. I will make known my words unto you. What's he talking about? He's talking about these verses. You're going to believe these verses when all these plagues start hitting America, which includes the microchip, which includes the missiles, you know, which includes all kinds of shit that's going to happen to these people in America. It says in verse 24, because I have called and ye refused, I have stretched out my hand and no man regarded. All right, and that's just what I was saying. So moving on. But ye have set at naught all my counsel, and would none of my reproof. I will also laugh at your calamity. I will mock when your fear cometh. When your fear cometh as desolation, your destruction cometh as a whirlwind, dealing with the chariots, because they're going to be part of the destruction. The so-called UFOs are also going to be on earth destroying this America, Babylon. When you fear, back on 27, when your fear cometh as desolation, and your destruction cometh as a whirlwind, when distress and anguish cometh upon you, then shall they call upon me, but I will not answer. They shall seek me early, but they shall not find me. For that they hated knowledge and did not choose the fear of Yahweh. They would none of my counsel. They despised all my reproof. Therefore shall they eat of the fruit of their own way, and be filled with their own devices. For the turning away of the simple shall slay them, and the prosperity of fools shall destroy them. But whoso hearkeneth unto me shall dwell safely, and shall be quiet from fear of evil. All right, and that was a good verse. The Proverbs, verse 1, starting at 25, really, where did we start? We started at 23, I think. But hey, that hit it on the nail on the head. He's going to laugh at your calamity. You're going to turn to him because you're going to be shitting your pants. But guess what? He ain't going to give a shit. He's going to mock you, it says in verse 26, when your fear comes on you. Because what's that verse? It says, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. All right? And those of you that just choose to ignore the scriptures, ignore the prophets, this is your fate. The destruction is going to come upon you, and you're going to be fucked. Thus saith the Bible. All right, with that said, I want to give all praise and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Ha-Rakah Kwadash. I want to give double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone who taught us this truth, and also want to acknowledge the Akyam who are pushing this truth with sincerity. Shalom to the elect.